Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have for you the Scream 7 trailer. Surprise me! It's a Scream, baby. I've had that mask since 1997. By the way, this is one of the original Scream masks, Generation 2, I believe. But anyways, I'm a huge Scream fan, and I wanted to talk about the movie. I'm not going to do a trailer reaction. I'm not a reaction channel, but I do want to sort of like do a bit of a trailer breakdown. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, because I want to talk about this, and I'm a huge fan. And yes, as many things in today's day and age, we do need new stuff, but there's just something about when I see a slasher movie coming back like this, whether it would be Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, or whatever, I'm going to want to talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up the trailer. I'm not really going to play it because I don't want to get copyright claim or anything like that. But I'm going to go through and give you guys some of my thoughts on this. And so, like, here right off the bat, we have the opening scene at Stu's house, which I was like, Stu's house again. But then as you get into it, it turns into a bed and breakfast, which I do believe the original Scream Stu house from the movie was actually turned into an Airbnb place. So like this is like an Airbnb like place, which I love that. That is meta. That is very meta in the horror genre of the meta Scream world. So that is like real world into the real world. So that's very interesting. We get some some scares in the beginning with like this animatronic ghost face here, or at least it looks animatronic and everything. And then it kind of goes into, it really is Ghostface there. Chase ensues. Things happen. Girl here, there, maybe she falls. I felt like maybe I don't like this. Feels like this is the opening scene of the movie. So I don't know. Sure, I know they did it with like Scream 5. I'm not sure about Scream 6, which I did not like Scream 5 and 6 at all. I hated those movies. But I know like with the Jenna Ortega scene, they showed that opening in the trailer. Maybe I kind of wish they would try to save that a little bit, because it feels like this will be the full-on opening. What will happen will be different. I don't know. So that's just a little gripe. I would have wished maybe they wouldn't have showed so much. And I even showed you littler than the trailer showed you here. So, and then we get into it. We get here Neve Campbell back as Sidney Prescott, the one of the greatest final girls in all of horror movies. I'm glad to see her back. I think, I do say like if the Scream movies wanted to move on, they needed to get away from them. But I do like to see her back, and I think it is great that it's a welcome back, and it's a welcome back to be a story focused on her and not characters that I didn't really care for or I felt were disingenuous to the franchise and disrespectful to Wes Craven. That's my thoughts, my opinion. But I'm glad to see her back, and hello Sydney. Surprise Sydney and all that. So I'm glad to see that. And then, we get her in her new home, and oh no, there's killings. What's going to happen? Let's talk to Sydney about it. And then we get to see Sydney's daughter, and we get to hear Ghostface talking. This is like, yeah, you and your pretty daughter and everything. I love that. Like Ghostface is like narrating the trailer, which is awesome because it's like an old school narration, like trailer talk. I really dug that. So like Ghostface narrating the trailer, and it feels very dark. It feels very creepy, and I'm digging that. And I do like that Sydney's daughter, the casting they have for Sydney's daughter. I think she looks great, and her name is Tatum in the movie. So I love that they're keeping up with the first Scream there with their name. So I like that. And then I gotta say, I'm feeling very Halloween vibes here, and with the fall of the year there, like the leaves on the ground and the way it looks, it feels very Haddonfield, which Kevin Williamson's one of his most favorite movies of all times is Halloween. That's like one of his favorite movies ever. Literally, he created his own Halloween with the Scream franchise. The first movie is filled with references to John Carpenter's Halloween and so many other movies, and Prom Night and so many other movies, right? And as a horror fan, as I related to Randy, so I caught all those references and stuff like that. And that is one thing that I'm kind of digging about this is, yes, this is a meta movie, and I know not meta is for everybody. You don't feel like you have a Randy in this. You don't feel like everybody is in the know of, at least what's showing in this trailer, that you don't feel like everybody is in the know of horror movies, right? It feels very Halloween to me. Very Halloween. I love this small town. If I can find a picture of the town. Yes, there's Sydney and her husband, played by Joel McHale, who I think he even has the same name as Kincaid, the first name, Mark. I think his name is Mark. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Mark Kincaid, and they couldn't get him back or whatever. But I think that's his name, and he looks like even to be a cop in this. But the one thing I do like this scene here is like they go into like a panic room, and he chases them through the walls. I hope it doesn't feel like the movie Panic Room, I was not a big fan of the movie Panic Room, but I do like this, and it also sort of reminds me of the chase in Scream 3 when they're in Roman's house and they're behind the mirrors and everything in his secret passageways. So I kind of like that. It kind of sort of like it feels like a callback to Scream 3, even though Kevin Williamson doesn't like Scream 3 at all because he was sort of kicked out of that. But I do like that. I do like there's a small town. If I can get to come on, man, I had it. Right there, there's a small town. I like it. I know it's not Woodsboro. I wish it was Woodsboro, but I like it. And even the sign there, it said Texas Chainsaw Massacre is playing. So I dug that. I really dug that. I really dug that. And so we'll get onto the trailer. And then we got, Get Weather and Randy's. See, that's the one part I wish they wouldn't have connected it to 5 and 6. I'm really just not a fan of 5, 6. I think they were disrespectful to the original franchise. I know I might get some hateful comments in the comment section down below that. I just did not like it. I'm sorry. And I wish they wouldn't have brought a connection to those, but I understand why they did because those actually did do well. But we have Gail and Randy's niece and nephew, and then which you never know, bad things could happen to him in this time because that's one of my biggest complaints about the other ones was like, they were afraid to kill any of the 4 main characters. And I mean, they killed Randy off in part 2, and that we were all mad about that. But then like, it was such a great scene, but they're so scared to kill off all the originals. From those movies, and I really wish they would never have killed Dewey. I think Dewey needed to live. Period. I think as much as each movie where he seems like he dies in each movie, I think it was time for Dewey to finally have a victory where he doesn't get stabbed, where he lived. I really think that. But then we'll move on to down the line here. Sydney's daughter is in there being chased by him, and she's telling him how to, shoot the gun to get him behind what wall he's behind in their house and everything because she's in a panic room. I really dug that. I really did dig that aspect of it, and I really like this part of the movie here where the Ghostface here, he's lighting this up. He burns down Stu's house, right? I thought that was like, I think that's kind of cool because I think we've gone back to the well. Is one of the things I very hated about 5 is like they tried to say only everybody cared about the first movie. And no, that's not true. Scream 2 was like one of the best sequels. Did Scream need to have multiple 7 movies? Probably not. But Scream 1 and 2 are like all-time greats. 3 is an acquired taste, which I love, which I think is the definitive ending. I don't mind 4, 5, and 6. I'm not a fan of. But I love the fact that, and he's like, I'm going to burn it all down. And he burns down Stu's house, and we get the title card and everything, which I love the title card. And I'm going to go ahead and take that down there. But I loved that. I loved the trailer. It surprised me. I love some of the things we had seen in it. I also felt like maybe we saw a little too much, but maybe not enough because also we know that Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, Scott Foley, Roman from part 3, and so many others are actually coming back in this movie. And none of that was hinted at or teased at in this and how it's going to happen. So I'm very, very interested to see that. So it felt very Scream. It felt like old school Scream, and it felt like Halloween, and it felt like a horror movie. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it. But those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys thought about this video and Scream 7. And if you hated it and you hated my video and you don't want to hear about Scream at all, you can leave that in the comment section down below. I'm cool with that. But I'm a huge fan of this franchise. Always have been for years and years and years, much like many other horror movie franchises. And I wanted to give my thoughts on this. But let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hitting that bell for notifications. That'd be awesome if you're in your guys' subscriptions, or possibly share this video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here and for all of your support. And to everybody watching, whether you like me, hated me, or liked this video, or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. Wherever y'all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Always support physical media because it truly is the superior format now more than ever. And it's a Scream, baby. Godspeed.